And shall we have a little look at our mailbag question?
Yeah, so the mailbag questions.
Right, so I have it here. So if you would like to write in with a question, we'll be sure to try and answer them next week. So Nick writes in and he says, would love to hear the story of how you two met. Did you know through your charts or readings?
Well, to be honest, we didn't when we first started chatting. Elisa wrote an article about 6 years ago that I spotted on a spiritual website, which I thought was very good. So I didn't know her, so I just dropped her a line and said, well done on the article. Don't think too much happened.
No, we didn't talk for a while after that. And then we just started to slowly talk. I mean, we're in similar fields, of interest. So,
but I did send you the article about veganism and how one has to be very careful on different nutrients.
Yes.
And Elisa didn't really speak to me for about a year and a half after that.
Because I was a vegan when we first met. And I was very much like, I didn't want to hear anything against veganism. I felt very passionately and very strong about it. But also I felt like I'd done a lot of research about it. And I would cook for at least 2 or 3 hours a day. And so I kind of felt...
Looking back, do you think the article did show anything that you didn't know about at that time?
Probably, yeah.
What do you mean probably? Definitely.
Definitely. But
like
the supplementation,
B12 is
taking,
the big one.
Yeah.
And chlorine, is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Chlorine.
Yeah, I still take it.
So, that was really important. So we didn't talk for a little while. And then Patrick was looking for somebody to help with his marketing on Instagram, I think it was, and reached out to me. I had an interview.
Amongst 2 other people, I might say. One who decided, somebody who'd worked for me before who's very good and just didn't want to at that time, and the other person decided that she didn't want to.
Yeah, so I was the last one left. And
See, Elisa made that assumption. I didn't say that's what happened. So very open mind.
Yeah, so we had an interview and it went well, and then we just started to connect after that, really. But Nick, you were asking about, did it come up in readings? And it's funny you should say that, because I was doing a lot of tarot at the time, particularly about my career. And I kept getting like the 2 of Cups, the Lovers, and the King of Swords.
10 of Cups.
The 10 of Cups. So even though my questions were very much related to career, they kept coming up with love answers. And I kept getting a little bit frustrated at that, because...
you get frustrated? You're joking.
I didn't know who this person could be. And one of the cards, I think it was the Emperor, can if you get the Emperor and the Lovers together, especially with the 2 of Cups, that can signify an older partner. So I kind of had in the back of my mind that we were connected, but I just really didn't feel Patrick was interested in me in that way.
Well, I'd actually said that to you.
You did tell me outright that you weren't interested in me in that way.
Well, I thought you were too young. But that was quite a few years ago.
Yeah.
And of course, I didn't know how fiery Elisa could be and how much that would annoy her, along with the supplement article. Because I'd been a vegetarian for 45 years, so I know that you can starve yourself of quite a few nutrients very easily, even if you think you're doing the right thing for animal welfare, which I did when I was 15 when I began, and there was none of the sort of wider information there is now. But even now there's loads of people who just eat a lot of processed vegan or vegetarian food, which I think is rubbish, because whenever I eat it, it gives me indigestion, so that's a sure sign it's processed.
Yeah, it's still processed.
So it's not chlorine. What is it that I take? I take some supplement anyway.
We'll put the name of the supplement on the screen.
Yeah, that slipped my mind. But B12 is vitally important, and also some fats. But these are, people are very passionate, and obviously it's wonderful they do care about animal welfare so much. And then in terms of the astrology, when Elisa started working for us, and I realised how cheeky she was and how much we had a laugh, I thought, no, she can't be attracted to me. This is ridiculous. But obviously I sort of extracted the key details, and then I realised that Elisa's Venus was conjunct my sun, which is really good, but also her Venus is in the 7th house. So in other words, my sun is in her 7th house, which is very good, as is my Venus and my moon. So that's a very good connection. But there's loads of things as well, and there's also draconic things that work together, Nick. So it was there, but even to this day, I still haven't done a composite analysis of the two charts because never had the need to do so. The most important thing in any relationship is listening to our hunches, not necessarily just being guided by the synastry or the astrology, I'd say.
Yeah, sometimes taking that leap of faith, it's rare, I feel, to have that connection with somebody. And so if we put barriers in between having that connection with somebody, we can really miss out on quite an amazing experience.
Yeah, keep a very, very open mind on all sorts of things, people's background, cultural differences, all those kind of things, because you just never know. I think the most important thing is to have similar values.
Yeah, definitely.
And for example, we both really care about animal welfare. And eating very good local or organic food. That's something that really unites us. We also really unite around real ale.
Yeah, and humour.
And humour. Bad humour, of course.
Bad humour, of course. So yeah, it's all... but I was doing a few... When I kept getting those cards come up in my spread, I kind of took it from a sign from, God, that maybe... I am ready for a relationship, because I was very sort of happily single and had been for quite a few years. So I started to do a little bit of meditation, and I started to write down, what my perfect partner would be. And just wrote a list of the sort of top 5 or 6 things that were important to me. Humour was incredibly important to me. Integrity was incredibly important to me. Somebody who was spiritual, had a deep spiritual dimension about them, not necessarily religious, not necessarily my own beliefs, but just somebody who had that part of their nature.
Totally agree with that one.
Someone who cared about animals. They didn't necessarily have to be a vegan or vegetarian, but really understood the welfare of animals. And somebody I could be myself with. And
that was my tick list as well, to be
things.
honest. Yeah, and I got all of those things. Plus a ball of fire.
We wouldn't have it any other way, I do.
Well,
maybe you would.
God, singed eyebrows and everything. That's why I got to wear the specs to hide it.
Save your eyeballs. So that is kind of, we met through work, basically, long
About
story short.
6 years ago.
Yeah.
And this August the 11th, we'll celebrate our 4th anniversary of meeting.
Yes, 4 years from our first date.
Yeah. So thank you for that, Nick, and I hope you're continuing to feel stronger. And if you'd like to become a patron, please see the link below. You can do so from $3 a month, and Elisa shares some very personal snippets on there. And thank you to all our existing patrons. We really appreciate your kind contributions. So have a great week. But for now, from the A-Team, it is...
Goodbye from him.
And it's goodbye from us. Goodbye.